Welcome to Dinner at the Round Table podcast, live from New York.
What's up, everybody?
How are you, Ann? Welcome to Dinner at the Round Table podcast. How are you?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Ann. How are you? Good to meet you.
Likewise.
Yes, so today we have Ann Fiorini, owner of Astounding Optics, which is a lens manufacturing, a wholesale lens manufacturing company based in New York. For those that don't know what that means, basically, Outstanding Optics makes prescription eyeglasses or eye lens for the visually impaired. So we can start off there, right, Anne? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what we do.
All right. So just to get the ball rolling real quick, who is Outstanding Optics?
Okay, first of all, welcome everybody. Outstanding Optics, we are an optical wholesale lab. We manufacture lenses, single vision, progressives. We do everything, Polaroid, transition, any needs. We do retail and we do wholesale.
Okay, great. So for people who need their glasses, they go to get their prescription from their doctor, and then after that, the order goes to you, and you guys
Yeah.
manufacture the glasses.
It comes to me and we process the lens to to whatever the prescription says for the patient.
Okay.
They
Okay.
give us a call or they input an order or they fax or they email. And then we take it from there and we do the process.
Great.
Awesome. So Anne, let's start out with you know, what made you want to start a career or your business in the optical lens industry?
Well, many years ago, I was in the retail. I was a receptionist and I just loved the patients. I loved the glasses. I loved to do all with the optics. And then little by little, by chance, I got into the optical lab, which I love doing. It gives me great satisfaction when I see somebody with a high prescription. And then after we make glasses,
Nice.
Awesome. It's a great story there. I mean, what year did you guys start off? Because I know you guys
we started this, I think it was 1981 or 1982. That was our first lab.
Wow,
and
that's amazing.
yeah, because you guys I remember you guys had you guys were in Castle Hill before in the Bronx under Dependable Optics.
Yes, we were in the Bronx. We were first on Story Avenue. Then from there we grew and we went to Quimby Avenue. And we were very happy there. We were there for about at least about 20 years or more.
Wow,
Yes.
that's a long time.
That's when I met you guys. I met you guys when you guys
Yes.
had Dependable Optics.
Yes.
Definitely. Um
Amazing.
what is an optical lens surfacing laboratory? What is that? Explain to our audience and our listeners.
Okay, we manufacture optical lenses. We do Polaroid, single vision, distance, any need that a patient or retail has, we have it all. We're a full equipped optical lab.
So basically you guys manufacture the actual
Lens.
material into the lens that
Yes,
creates the
well,
prescription.
yes, well, actually, it's the patient's prescription that we grind in the lens. That's
You
what we do. We do the
yes.
patients. So when you go to the eye doctor, you get your eyes examined. And then with that, we take whatever the doctor says and we surface, it's called surfacing into the lens.
Awesome. So I hope you're gonna later on we're gonna show some surfing of the lenses then at the
Yes.
round table. So you guys better be ready for that part later.
I can't wait to see that. That's something that I've never seen before. I wear contacts now, but I spent many years wearing glasses, and my son, he's 17 years old, and he spent a long time wearing glasses too. So it never occurred to us like where these glasses come from. We just automatically assumed that it came from, the doctor's office and that they do it behind, in the
Right.
back office somewhere. So it never occurred to us that it's actually, the prescription is sent out and then
And
delivered back to the doctor's office. So that's interesting.
It's very interesting, and it's very rewarding, especially when the doctor calls me and says, the patient was so happy, or if the patient breaks their glasses and they need one right away, they say, and do one right away. It's very rewarding. It gives me a lot of satisfaction when I hear that for a patient or from a doctor.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure the patient doesn't understand the importance of your job, especially until something goes wrong, until they either break a lens or, like in my son's case, he wore his glasses in the roller coaster when we went to Six Flags and lost his glasses, his $700 pair of glasses that I just purchased recently.
Oh,
And lost them in the roller coaster on his birthday. So, thank goodness for my buddy here, Nelly. He was in the optical business. So I was able to give him a quick call and he took care of me right away. So that was just like, oh my God. It's
Right.
like when you lose something so precious, like when you lose a gold necklace or something that's so precious to you. And it's like, oh my God, I literally cannot see. I'm like lost. And finally we got our glasses. So
Right.
thank you,
yeah.
Nelly, for that.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, for those who don't know, our listeners and our viewers, I actually am a certified licensed optician. I've been in the eye care business for about like, say like 16 years now. A little bit over 16. I say 18 maybe. Not too sure exactly the amount. It's like around that 16, 18 years old. And when I actually graduated college, um, I was looking for a place to do like an internship, and I actually ended up at Dependable Optics for a couple of months through Richard, her husband, which is also the owner of Outstanding Optics. I had a friend who was working there named Omar Marino, and he recommended me there. And I did a couple of months there, and then it was a great internship because they got me through the program, right? And then later on, I just got into the medical field, and it was a great opportunity. And that you guys gave me to learn the process, like what happens behind the scenes, and I was able to take that into the medical private practice area, and actually last 14 years in the business working for one office. So it's pretty great to hear people come to you after you've done a pair of glasses to them for them and understand that you just made that person see better, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, that was my little story there about me and the eye care business. Something in particular you wish you would have known before you got into it, or
Not really, because I got in it for love, because I love doing this. So, I knew what I was getting into because I already was in the retail. So I knew about glasses, I knew about frames. So I had an idea. It's just, when you first started this business, to have a full understanding of optics and how it goes with the equipment, that takes a little, learning and understanding. But once you kind of go over that, then you're okay.
So, Anne, I have a question for you. What is since you've been in this business for quite some time, what is one of the most biggest challenges that you've ever came by, during these years of dealing with optics? Like a big challenge or something that went horribly wrong?
Well, when a doctor calls and says, "Oh, patient is in my office, broke their glasses. I need this within 2 hours." Sometimes in the lab, you lose the internet, or the equipment needs is not working, or something goes wrong because the equipment. All equipment has a PC inside. Sometimes things go wrong with the PC, with the computer. So the challenge is you have to do a pair of lenses in 2, 3 hours, right? But something goes wrong with the equipment, or you lose the internet. Our program all comes through every day with the internet. So sometimes something goes wrong or you lose electricity, but you're under the pressure that you have to deliver the pair of lenses in 2 hours. So you kind of have to put everything together, put everything that and 99% it always works out. When something goes wrong, it always works out. You
That's
are able
good.
to deliver the lenses.
Very
That's the
optimistic.
challenge.
So, Anne, what's like your favorite part of the process?
I love blocking. I love which I'm going to show you guys. I love blocking. I love to cut a lens or polish a lens. Really, everything.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean it's very interesting. I mean, um, I would
You
say this.
you know what, may I say something? A lot of the younger people, don't, they're not exposed to this, but it's wonderful to learn. And if you really like it, it's a good living and it's very rewarding. So, it's nice that you're doing this. So for the younger people, if they see this, they say, that's nice. I think I might be interested in that.
All
I
right.
mean, that's what got me interested. I mean,
Right.
I grew up having a eye condition called myopia, which is when you're nearsighted. And I actually went to school for computer science first, and then well, and you know how I am. I'm very charismatic. I'm a people's person. I ended up working in this this computer office, stuck in a cubicle for 9 hours, not interacting with nobody, but a piece of equipment right in front of me, right? So then my mother told me, she says, Nelson, when you were younger, you wanted to be an eye doctor. They really? Yeah, you used to say it all the time to me. I'm like, okay, well. And one day I just started doing research on the whole field, and I'm like, you know what, this is something I want to do. And I went back to school to get into ophthalmic technology. And next thing you know, I was an optician. But what I meant to say with all of that was that it's a very interesting field and it's very unappreciated. The public, the general public, has no idea what goes into the
Mhm.
process, and this is why this is a great interview that we're having with you today, because we're going to show the general public what goes behind the actual prescription of a pair of eyeglasses. Right? Most people um, think that they see the doctor, they get diagnosed, and then the eye doctor magically makes a pair of glasses for them. It doesn't work like that, right? Correct, Anne?
Right.
You have
Absolutely.
you have the little guys like us, the engineers, the little elves in Santa's shop that make the glasses for them, right?
I appreciate you.
So yeah, so definitely, I mean, it's very underappreciated, the industry, and I would hope that through this interview and future interviews, that maybe the eye care business or just the eye care or the optical business gets more exposure to the general public, because a lot of people do not know the whole process, and it's very important. It's a very important part of your health, right? Your eyes.
Absolutely.
So
I think one
Absolutely.
of the things is sorry. I think one of the things is that, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. So I think because you guys are, unfortunately it's because you guys are behind,
The
back of the
scenes.
house, behind the scenes. So not too many people get to see, you know, no pun intended, but they don't get to see what it is that you guys do every day. You guys are in closed doors, so people are just like myself. People are automatically assuming that the glasses are done on the spot, and then it just takes a couple of days because they have other clients, and then they'll call you when it's ready. When that's not the case, I'm sure it has to be shipped out, to the nearest manufacturer. So, tell us, Anne, how many glasses do you guys manufacture? Like, what's a typical day for you?
A
Um,
typical day is I do about 150 pairs per day. And then edgings, then we have some accounts that send us the frame to be edged with the lenses. That's about another 20 or 30. That's the typical, we come here, my husband and I come here about 9 o'clock in the morning. My staff comes in a little later, about 9:30, 10, about 9:30, 10 in the morning, and we're here all day. My husband and I leave here about 9, 10 o'clock, about 9:30 in the evening, and we enjoy every minute of it.
wow, those must be long days, long hours, but
Yeah,
as long as you enjoy it, it's not long for you guys.
Doesn't
we,
work
yeah,
if you're
we
having fun.
enjoy it.
Awesome.
You're having
yeah,
fun.
that's one thing. I always whenever I speak to someone who's like younger than me, right, is ready to come out of high school, about to go to college, I always tell them, make sure you pick a career that you love and you're passionate about.
Yes.
You're gonna regret working at a place or having a career that you just don't like. You know what I mean? What I meant to say, it has to match your personality, because if you're not a let's say for instance, you can't be a doctor if you're not a people's person. You have to find your niche, and and like Anne said, like she loves doing it. She comes to work every day. Doesn't matter how many hours she puts in. She loves every second of it.
That's right.
Right. And I have a question. If you had any failures in the business, what was your biggest one that you can remember? If you've had.
If I had a failure, I really didn't have a failure.
No,
Honestly,
awesome.
Okay.
I really did
She
not have.
knows what she does, so
Okay. Well, you've been lucky. You've been a successful entrepreneur.
Been very fortunate. I really had no failure because, little by little, I started with the retails, and little by little, they started giving me jobs, and everything has worked out.
that's wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, like even little mishaps and things like that. You don't even really picture.
No,
I could just imagine you. You probably don't picture those as failures anyway.
no.
You just
Yeah,
solve the
yeah,
problem and then keep it moving. So that more and more people can
yeah,
see every
yeah.
day.
Then I'm near Manhattan, I'm near Westchester, I'm near, all over. So, it's convenient for the doctors to call me, and they come and they pick up a pair of lenses, or it goes through messenger service. So, I really can't think of no failures because I love being here.
Yeah, it's always a high demand for you too. Everyone needs glasses.
Exactly. Sometimes the mail lady comes in here and she wears glasses and she'll say, "Oh, Ann, my lenses just broke. Can you fix my glasses?" So it's constant, traffic, people coming in.
Yeah.
Wow. I have a
And
question. I'm curious. Is the glasses made of actual glass or is it a different
Yeah,
material?
they come in different materials. It's high index plastic, poly, 167, 174 for people that really are myopic, really with a high prescription. So we have the thin lens. We say 167, 174, but they're really thin lenses, and they come in all, but they're not glass. Years ago, many years ago, they did only have glass lenses. Then I think in 1960, 1965, they started introducing plastic lenses. Now they have so many on the market that, to carry all of them, really, you would need a big space. There's a lot. And what's good is with my vendors where I get my lenses, everything is overnight. So even if I don't have something, I get them the next day. So it's
Oh,
really not necessary to carry so many lenses.
that's awesome. Good for
Yeah,
you. You got a very well
but
oiled
like
machine.
yeah, like I guess in the early 1900s till maybe 1950, they were all, I guess, glass lenses till somebody did invent plastic.
Okay.
That's
the reason why and I'm gonna just piggyback off of what Anne just explained. The reason why the optical business or the optical industry, right, switched over to CR39, which is a fiber plastic, was because the heaviness of the glass lenses, and also the process of making it was more difficult. So CR39 became like the basic material for lenses. After that, CR39 is a fiber plastic. If you guys ever been on an airplane before, the window of an airplane, that type of plastic, have you ever like
yeah.
touched it or look out of
Yes,
it?
I know it's not glass.
CR39 is.
Oh,
It's a fiber plastic, right? Correct, Anne?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And then you have polycarbonate, which is another type of material that's actually impact resistant and
Hmm.
scratch resistant. Those are generally used for kids, right? For younger or sports people who play sports.
Absolutely. All for young kids, because if they fall, their eyes protected.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you won't have a shattered lens. And that if a shattered lens throws out a little piece, it can land in one of their eyes, correct? So you don't
Yeah,
want that.
get hurt. Hmm.
So if you have a child or if you play sports, you definitely want to get polycarbonate lenses. Or if you're just looking for a lighter lens that's not as heavy, or you have like a semi like mild prescription, and you don't want the lens to be too heavy, you go with a polycarbonate. And if you have a real high prescription, then you go with the high index lens, which is the thin lens that she spoke about. The high
Right,
index 174.
right,
That's our terminology. That's the stuff that we talk about in the lab, right? The
right,
167, the
right.
174. But to the general public, is known as thin lenses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
That's what
that's
I'm trying to get
to
for
get
my
a little
son,
bit.
the high end thin lenses, because he has a very strong
Pres-
prescription. So wow, that's interesting. That's good to know. And I had no idea that the airplane, like I knew it wasn't glass, obviously, but I was kind of curious about that too. So that's pretty interesting to know. It has to be really strong and your life depends on it.
Yeah.
So
For the different materials, are there different techniques for like shaping it?
Well, they already come manufactured like that, you know. And then after we put in the prescription, and then when it's cut into the frame, we have a tracer that traces the frame, and and then my husband cuts the lenses into the frame.
Okay, okay.
very nice. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait for you to show us how these glasses are done. Like
Yeah,
I
have
was
Yeah.
fun.
curious
That I
about that.
do. That
And I
so
see you
what
smiling
what
right with it. So you could tell
yeah,
it's definitely your passion.
yeah.
so just to show real quick, the our listeners and our followers real quick, what Anne may meant by the way that they already come more or less like pre-made. They come like it looks like similar to this, but it's like a little bit thicker. It's like a
Mhm.
hockey puck, right? Correct, Anne? Like a
Yeah,
hockey puck, and then
it's
you
like times that
two
size.
times this size, and then um a surfacing lab such as Outstanding Optics grabs the hockey puck and then goes through the process of inserting the prescription using prism from a generator that generates prism into the lens, and that creates the prescription. Correct, Dan?
Yep.
So, who are three people that were very influential to you in your life that made you kind of like be such a strong, independent woman, such as yourself?
Number one, my husband.
Hey.
Oh, Richie.
Number
Oh,
one, my husband made me very independent. Number two, my children. I have two daughters. One is an optometrist, and one is a teacher. And also, who was very influential is my fourth son, Scott. He's a PA. And he always said to me, Ma, do it, try. He always believed in me. I really owe what I am today to Scott.
oh,
Always
that's so sweet.
pushed me.
That's great. That's great. It's great that you mentioned family as like
Yeah,
your
very
influential.
important family.
Yes, very important. And this month is Women's Independence Month, right? So it's great to
Right?
have you on. So you're definitely leading the way. Um,
Absolutely.
you're the first lady we've had this month, so you definitely
Yeah, I
came
was
in the
starting
right
to feel a
moment.
little lonely.
I kind of saved you for that. I kind of saved you for March because we've been trying to do this for a while, right? Correct. We've been trying to
Yeah,
do this interview for a while, and I said, you know what? Let's save it for March for Women's Independence
exactly.
Month.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um,
How
how
important
important is it to
that?
have the proper tools to be successful, Anne?
My
You
bad.
have to. When we started this, we all bought the best equipment. You have to. You have to have top notch equipment because if you don't, it's like when you're a cook. If you have good quality ingredients, your food will come good.
Mhm.
So in optics, if my equipment, which I'm going to show now, is the top. That's why my lenses come so good because it's all to also the equipment. It's also the program that I use. It's a combination of many things put together.
Awesome. So, just to so that we can go straight to the process of the ordering of the lenses from the doctor's office to the surfacing. One last question we got for you. Just let the public know and our listeners and our viewers how can they acquire your services.
Well, it's outstanding. I'll give you my address. It's Outstanding Optics, and it's 2 Cortlandt. It's Cordlandt Avenue. It's Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. And also to come into my lab, it's around the corner. It's on South Street. So it's 45 South Street. And my number is 914-371-1437.
They can also go to outstandingoptics.com and
Yeah.
contact you through there too, right?
Yes. And also my email is outstandingoptics@gmail.com.
Correct. That's great. Great. On your
So I
website,
have
you
one.
have like a basic breakdown of pricing there, right? Somewhat.
No,
I've seen
no, the
some.
website, no. They just
Oh,
call me, yeah. And on the website, no. It
oh.
just shows my equipment and it says our story.
Well, I don't know if you seen you haven't seen it in a long time, but I was on there today, and there was something there was a pricing on the CR39 transitional lenses. You might want to
Yes,
take that out of there.
yeah.
But yeah, there you have it, folks. I mean,
I think A had a
you can
question.
either email her, call her, go to the website, send her an
Definitely
email
hit
through
her up.
there as well, because her information is there too. Um,
I think A had something to say. It was like kind of glitching off.
Yeah, I was trying to say, let's say I'm at my local optical, and can I have them personally recommend, like, if I wanted them to use you, can I have them do that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You tell them that you want outstanding optics. Absolutely. Or you could say, give me the prescription, right? The
yeah,
doctor will give you the prescription, and then you contact me and I'll make a whole pair.
All right.
You could
yeah,
send it with mail, and we'll send it back.
All right.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah,
yeah.
very simple. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very it's a very straightforward process for sure. You know, is the only thing I would say is, and you correct me if I'm wrong, and um, someone that's not familiar with the terminology when ordering lenses, it might be difficult for them to order the right stuff. Correct? Or is
Uh,
this something that you can
but
be
what
like, you can?
they always ask my opinion. Even the
Okay,
doctors will call me and say, I have a patient with this prescription. What do you recommend? What
yes,
can I give? What can I make the thinnest lenses? Absolutely. I get that every day. So, or sometimes when I see a prescription, I'll call and I'll say, you ordered this, but I feel this is better. And they listen, and they do it. Sometimes I make the judgment.
no, yeah, that's great that you do that, because the general public is not familiar with the terminology. They don't know what
No,
polycarbonate is or
or they don't,
CR39.
a lot of them too don't know what are the thinnest lenses, what is best for them, or every day new lenses are coming out every day. There's a new lens that just came out, which is a transition Polaroid lens, which it's great if you're driving, and a lot of people, they complain about the glare when you're driving, and they use Polaroid, but this is a transition Polaroid. So that means that inside it's light, like the glasses that I'm wearing, but once you go out, they turn into transition dark. And then when you're driving, they're a blessing because they're a Polaroid, so they take out any glare, any light. So, every day they're also coming out with all new lenses too. But this one is a new one that's just coming out by Younger Optics, and it's a great lens. It's like two lenses into one. It's a Polaroid and it's a transition, and also inside it's clear, so you could use it inside too.
Oh,
Oh,
snap.
that's awesome. That must be really cool. Cause I know I drive. I'm coming at you live from Florida right now, but I used to live in New York, and so I drove from New York to Florida very often. Because we bring a lot of things, and it's just better for us to drive most of the time. So when I'm driving with my glasses, I see the glare coming from traffic
Exactly.
opposite direction, and it could be life threatening. You know what I
Yes,
mean? If
absolutely.
you're tired, or you've been driving many states like I do often. So that's very. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And also for something like that, they have AR coatings. They have one that's excellent called Prevencia, and it cuts any kind of glare. And that's also recommended for small children. Today, everybody's on an iPad, right? Even younger kids, So with this particular AR coating, it cuts any glare, and it protects the eyes. So there's so many out, so many lenses, different kind of coatings.
Oh, okay. Is the what did you say again? The AR coating? Is that
It's called, yes, it's called Prevencia. It's an excellent AR coating, and it cuts any kind of glare, and especially for children, because today everybody's on an iPad, even kids, right? So that protects the eye at a young age.
I see. Is that similar to what they call the blue light lens?
Yes, exactly, exactly. But a lot of the transition lenses are manufactured already with the blue light. The blue light is a clear light. So, but all transition already have it in there. And when a transition lens turns really dark, the blue light is like 100%.
I see. Oh, so that's interesting. Yes, just like you said, in today's age, I feel. That leads me to my next question. Do you feel like, with everyone having the iPhones and the iPads, and now we're doing virtual learning at home because of the pandemic, do you think that the light coming from, the computers and the phones, do you think it damages the individual's eye at some point in their life?
Well, to be quite honestly, that's a question for a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I really don't know. Really, a doctor would be able to answer that. I'm into lenses. As far as the medical part of the eye, I have a daughter that's an optometrist, and I will ask her that question, because that's a good question.
I was always curious about that. I heard, like, watching YouTube videos and watching, news and stuff like that, that the blue lights that come from the computers and the iPhones, that, with time, that it could possibly damage your eye, or, cause, later on down the road, the myopia or the nearsighted.
Right,
Well,
it could be, but that's a question again for a doctor. I really.
Well,
well,
I can answer that question because I'm actually
I actually have a question.
and we have to actually we basically know everything the doctors know, but we just not licensed to prescribe
Give
prescriptions,
medical
right?
advice.
Um,
You're kind of like the nurse
so the
doctor,
But
right?
you definitely get blue light glare and glare from mobile devices, which are it could be a cell phone, tablets, even from your computer. You can get glare. Glare is very damaging to the eye for sure. Um, with not having anti-reflective lenses can actually create light sensitivity in your eye throughout time. So it's very important to have anti-reflective lenses, which what Anne was explaining earlier are AR lenses, right? AR coatings.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised how bad glare is for your eyes. Very bad, very bad. This is one of the most damaging things that your eyes can go through, and also your diet, the way that you eat too. Things that you ingest in your body, right? Um, Focusing for too long at one thing. Say, for instance, kids that play video games, they're stuck for 2 or 3 hours. Like, that's bad for your eyes too. My recommendation for anyone who has to spend long hours in front of a computer or playing video games is to, like, every 10, maybe every hour, take 10 or 15 minutes to just move your eyes in a different direction for a little bit, so that you don't go through fatigueness, which is another problem that creates eye sensitivity, and then glare becomes a real big issue then. Um,
I see. Wow. Well, that's good to know.
so
oh,
actually, I have the same type of question that La Dueña has, and I kind of could phrase it in a way that, and you can answer this. Since like the tech boom recently, have you seen an increase in like eye prescription and eyewear being ordered more?
Uh, yes. Lately, yes.
Okay.
People are going out and getting glasses. Yes, lately I did see it.
An
But I
increase.
think that's also in every profession. I think just people are just now more settled, with the COVID situation. And, I think people now are going out and spending more, honestly.
All right, cool.
I think the economy is getting back to normal a little bit, right? What do you think, Anne?
Definitely. Yes.
So bring the big bucks over to Outstanding Optics and pay for your lenses, okay?
Make sure you
Yeah,
So
be
right now we're
definitely.
gonna
Price.
very good price.
Price.
Yes, yes. I could attest to that.
tell them
So
that Nelly sent you.
now to our listeners and our viewers, we're gonna go into a second process now where we're gonna show how the whole process of surfacing a lens works. So let's start off by and you explaining how is it. So the doctor examines the patient, then the doctor's office or the doctor calls you, right? You pick up the
Mhm.
phone call, and then what happens after that? Can you just show us right now?
Sure. Should I take my tablet? You want me to show you now?
Well, show us what happens with taking the order first from right there, from where you're at, from your station,
Okay.
and then we have an assistant here who's gonna grab your tablet and he's gonna follow you, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly.
So
Exactly. Okay. One moment, please.
okay, so we're gonna turn off her camera real quick until she gets ready to go there.
Yeah,
So
guys.
you guys just got the
Bro,
source of knowledge, right? We are the source of
I
knowledge.
need to get some
Yeah,
glasses,
definitely.
bro. I need to
You
stop
know,
playing.
people now know what the eye care game is about, right?
Yeah, yo, bro, I
A
really
lot
need
of
to get some glasses.
opticals and doctors' offices might be mad because we exposed the manufacturing
We
side because
exposed
now
them.
people can get wholesale
Yeah,
prices, right? But hey,
get it from the source, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone, like I said before, a lot of people don't know the importance of vision, taking care of the health of your vision until something goes wrong. And usually when something goes wrong, it's already too late. So, you know what I'm saying? Try to make sure you limit your time from your phones and I know several people that could be on Instagram and Twitter and all of that for hours and hours and hours. And, without even thinking about it, before you know it, it's like, oh crap, I've been on my, Instagram just
Work.
scrolling through for 3 hours in a row. So
There you
people
go.
don't even realize the damage they're causing to themselves.
let's focus now on Anne. She's actually going to start the process of showing you
Sure.
guys step
Okay.
by step how ordering lenses from the doctor's office all the way to the very end. Okay.
We're going on a field trip.
Yay.
So, hey, okay. So some call on the phone and some they fax the orders. We take the lenses. This is a stock of all my lenses that I have and much more.
Mm.
Then we take them and we put them in trays, like this one that I'm about to show you here. Then it's computed. Once it's computed, it comes here to the station. This is the first station that we have. And this is the invoice that comes out. I take the lenses and I inspect that everything is correctly. Then we come here and we tape them. We put them in here, we tape them. Then from taping, this is a blocker. What's inside here is a liquid substance. What we do is we take the lens, we put it over here, the liquid comes out, and it attaches to the lens, and it becomes like this.
Oh.
Once it gets hard, the lens is cut. So we have two processes. This one is a generator and it's a cutter, and this is high definition. It does digital and it does high index and all the specialty lenses. This is also a generator here, but this does single vision and it does the basic easy stuff, reading, distance, and so on. And once the lens is cut, this one we did it on Friday, it's already cut. And once the lens is cut over here, and it's polished, and when it comes out nice and shiny, and it takes out any imperfection that comes from the two generators there. Then after the lens is polished, it comes to this station. And this station, we wash our lenses. From here, it goes to that station in the back, and it's inspected to make sure that the prescription that we got from the doctor is exactly what the lens says. It's inspected and it comes this is my husband's station here. This is where he does all his cutting, the lenses into the frame, and so on. We put coatings on top of our lenses. Again, the coatings take out any infection from the lens.
Nice.
Okay, and then we do our inspection. Then we come here. What we do is we do our delivery. We take the lens, or we put it in a bag, and it goes off to the messenger service or to the customer.
Wow. That is a lot of work. Now I have a question. When you insert the lens inside the glasses, do you just pop it in, or
this is our edging. This traces the frame, so the lens comes to the perfection, and then this is a blocker. So you take these blocks and you put on top of the lens, and this is an edger. This actually does the cutting right here.
Oh,
Okay.
that is so interesting. I'm blown away. I had no idea it was so much steps, so much process, and those machines do not look cheap at all.
No, these are very expensive.
So, Anne, this lens, right, gets blocked for one of these, right? Correct? This is the blocker.
Yes, and then it gets cut, and it's going to become like this. It's like
gets
a
cut.
rimless.
Yeah, so then you have the shape. It gets cut to that shape.
Yes.
And then it gets inserted into the frame. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that is
Inspection portion.
Yes.
Can you show them inspection?
Yes. Then we inspect our lens. Then we come here. This is our lensometer. We put it on. We make sure that whatever the prescription says here is into here. We check it, and then once we do that, then the process is done. Then we come here, and then we take the paper. We put the lenses so they don't scratch in little white bags. These are little white bags. We do this. We put them in here, and then we fold them like this, and then we wrap them up, and it's sent to the account.
okay.
Or the private people that come to me. It's sent to them.
So basically, after this point, it just gets delivered to the
Yes.
account holder, which is the doctor or optical company or optical store, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This is kind of the last process. And the lenses get inspected at least about 2 or 3 times to make sure that even when they come out of the process, when it's cutting the lens, that they get inspected. We always check the center thickness. The lenses constantly gets inspected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want, the wrong lenses to go to the individual. So absolutely. Wow. So you guys definitely look like you do a great job. You have a very well-oiled machine that works. And, thank you so much for showing us the process. You could definitely tell by, the type of equipment that you're using, this isn't just something that you can do in your kitchen.
Oh, no, not at all.
Good. We're going on a field trip.
I know, this is fun. It's like, woo! This would be fun with like those virtual reality goggles.
Come and visit. So once the lens is, once the prescription comes in, the lens has to be taped, and we take it here, and we come here, and we block it. What's inside here is alloy, and it's a liquid. And when the equipment is on, it kind of comes down, and the lens is put over here, and it attaches, so the lens is hard, so it could be cut. And we wait a half hour for this process until this gets very hard. Then from here, we have 2 cutters. These 2 cutters both have special blades. This does kind of your average for reading and your distance for your single vision. This is high definition, and it does all digital, high index, Polaroid, transition. All the better lenses are all cut in here.
All the fancy stuff.
This one.
So this is the generator where the prism is applied on the lens, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And
That
then
is so
this
interesting.
is a polisher. These are the little blocks that are attached to the lens. So when it polishes it like this when the equipment is on.
Okay.
And then this one too is a polisher. And this one, the lens goes this way. And these you put on top of here with some other things and it polishes it. And this is basically your everyday, like your single vision for distance or reading. Your bread and butter is over here.
And those surfacing tools,
Yes.
they're both convex and concave, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Depending on the prescription.
Yes, depending on the prescription.
So if you have a minus lens, which is a myopia lens, right? For nearsighted people, which one do you use?
Well, it all depends. It depends
Meaning
because they all
versus convex versus concave. For plus lenses,
depends. It all depends on what the invoice says.
Okay, the program determines everything.
Exactly.
Okay,
it's all the program that we use. Exactly. But it's all here. The tools, are all written here.
So I would say this, knowing that part. Concave is for minus lenses.
Yes.
Convex for plus.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But today the concave is not really used that much because the 174 does it.
Oh, I see.
The high index lenses does it. That was years ago. Now it's no. Okay. It's not in use anymore.
Okay, great. Well,
that's so nice to know.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And then can you show them the tinting part?
Sure.
Cool.
Here you go. Here's a lens that my husband was tinting. You take this holder, you put the two lenses here, and these are all different colors. All different colors. And then with this, you take it, you put it in, and it tints.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This job he's doing now.
Wow. Very interesting.
That's dope.
Yeah, I would have never imagined how that is. I assumed that everything is like done from one desk and, like like handmade with a butter knife or something. Like I had no idea. That's so cool. With a butter knife or something. I don't know. Like, okay, here we go. Here's your lens. Like,
yeah, I mean, listen, like I said earlier, the general public doesn't know the step-by-step process, and I'm glad that we were able to show it here at the At the Round Table podcast show, right? Because it's a very underappreciated industry, and people don't understand the process. So this is a way to kind of open people's eyes up, right? Not only by fixing your vision, but also by showing them, hey, this is not easy. This is a tough job.
It's not cheap either. It's not a cheap process.
Yeah.
What were you saying, A?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna turn her camera back on. There she goes.
Okay.
Oh wait, right. You gotta flip your camera on, Ann. Can you flip her camera around?
Nah,
but turn it back off.
You know what? I want to make some glasses, bro.
I definitely have a new appreciation for glasses. And I think kids should see this too. When their mother gets their kid, or when the parents give their kid, the glasses, and they lose it.
So shout out to all the single dads out there.
As I said, the parent or guardian or whatever your situation is. There's so many situations now. I'm just trying to put my son on the spot because he lost his glasses literally a week after I had just purchased them in a roller coaster.
Yo, Slushy, how you gonna just lose your glasses like that?
I was tight. Ask Nelly. I was like, Nelly, I'm about to hurt my son.
Why are you gonna hurt Slushy? You know that.
He said Slushy. You don't look like Slushy no more. You haven't seen him lately.
No, Slushy lost weight too. What are you talking about?
Oh, Slushy did?
Yeah. So yeah, man. So that was a great step-by-step introduction there, and by you. You did a great job. We're proud of you.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Ann, so much for showing us the process and showing our listeners and our viewers out there that this is not a simple task, And it's not a cheap task as well. As you can see that you have a whole entire warehouse that it takes multiple steps just to do this little lens that you use from a day-to-day basis. So, much respect to you, and much respect and kudos to you, the fact that you have so much passion for this, and you're very, very knowledgeable. You can tell how knowledgeable you are, and what's kind of like not trending anymore and what's trending now. Only people with expertise such as yourself would know that type of stuff and
Yep.
probably make better suggestions than the doctor would himself.
Yes, because I have the lenses, so I know what lenses comes out. I know by experience, by doing it every day, what's better for high minus, for a plus. So, it's nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
And
could
and and one thing,
Visit me, Christine. Love to have you here.
I definitely would. I'm in Florida, but definitely when I head up there, I would definitely give you a visit sometime, pay you a little visit, because I like to see behind the scenes. I like
Yeah,
to see the stuff that people don't normally see.
yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Another thing that I wanted to debunk real quick, like most the general public sometimes think like the doctor is the one that does everything, like I said earlier, and most of the time, if a doctor hasn't had like an optician background, they have no idea how this process works here. They know the basic knowledge of it, of like what materials to like recommend,
Hmm.
but for the most part, they really not too familiar with the manufacturing part. Correct? And
Yep, yep. That's why a lot of them call me up and go, and give me a suggestion. What do you think I should do? What kind of lens you think I should give? Absolutely.
yeah.
so we're kind of like the little doctors behind the scene, right? And us,
Exactly. If they only knew.
they
Exactly.
only knew. Well, now they know through
Exactly.
Dinner at the Roundtable podcast for sure. So, guys, let's do a final thought real quick. We're gonna start off with Anne, our guest, and we do a final thought on our program, which
Hmm.
basically we just give a general conclusion to our interview here. So, what would be your message to the world and to all those little critters out there missing their vision?
Well, first of all, thank you for watching. Second of all, very important, go to your eye practitioner and get your eyes examined. And then after, we take it from there. We give you the best. You can always give me a call or email me, and I will give you the best that I have at a reasonable price. And the most important is that everything that we do here is inspected by me or my husband. So you get the best of the best.
Awesome. And Anne, one more time, could you give our listeners your email address? I'm going to make sure I type it here for everyone to see.
Absolutely. It's outstandingoptics@gmail.com. The number is 914-371-1437. You can always call me or email me, and I will definitely respond.
Perfect. All right. To all our listeners, if you're ever interested in getting your glasses done, you get your prescription first, and then you can go ahead and contact our beautiful young lady here, Anne from Outstanding Optics. I went ahead and put the telephone number and the email address down below in the chat so everyone can see. And once again, Anne, thank you so much for, giving us that nice tour. And God bless you and your beautiful family. You definitely have passion for this, and what better to have your family involved? Like it's
Yeah.
a beautiful
I
thing
know
to have going on.
something else in the summertime, and Nelson saw it. My two grandsons were here. They're awesome. They're natural. Nelson, remember when you saw my grandsons?
Oh yeah,
They
they're
were
beautiful,
pounding,
and they know
cutting.
how to run the machines.
Yes.
Wow.
My two grandsons were working here July and August, and they were working here from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6, 7, taking maybe 10 minutes to have a slice of pizza. Awesome. They're just natural.
Oh, so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
God
So
bless you and your beautiful family.
the craft is being handed down. The
Yeah.
torch. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great. They're so young. They're so smart and very active, and they bright. They're bright kids, man.
Yeah.
When I saw them. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I saw them there, I was
You're
like,
a
hey,
legend.
you guys
And
got a fresh start.
Yep.
You're definitely a
For sure.
legend, and God bless you and your husband.
Thank you. Thank you.
Richard, he's kind of camera shy, so if you guys are wondering why he's not coming out, he's camera shy, but he's a great guy. But La Dueña, what's your final thought?
My final thought is, for everyone out there, just take your eye health into consideration. It's very serious, and you only get one set of eyes. Even with all the technology out there, there's only so much that all this technology could do. So take care of your eyes. Eat right, eat healthy, because that also affects your eyes. And try to limit your time from the computers. I know we're in a difficult times right now during the pandemic, so everyone is working from home, going to school from home, and they spend 10 to 20 hours without even realizing. So take some breaks away from the computer from time to time, and your phone. And
Oh,
that's
for
my
sure. I
final thought.
mean, that's definitely a great final thought there. It's a famous quote. I know you heard this, Anne, before because you're in the field, right? It's called. It said, "The eyes are the windows. The wait, the window to your soul is through your eyes, right? Something like that. You ever heard that?
The eyes are the window to your soul.
Eyes are the windows.
So, general public. This is to the general public. This is not my final thought, but just like Christine said, eye health, right? Take it very serious because an eye examination doesn't only determine your vision. Doctors can see whether you're at risk for a stroke, if you have a tumor in your brain, if you have high blood pressure, if you're diabetes, if you have diabetics, if you're diabetic, I'm sorry, diabetes, diabetic, whatever. You know what I meant.
Glaucoma.
And if you're at risk for certain health conditions that you might not be aware of, it could, doctors can tell through an eye exam. So, when an eye doctor tells you, watch out, your eye pressure is kind of high or your sugar levels are high, don't disregard it just because it's an eye doctor. At the end of the day, a doctor's a doctor, and they study biology, so they know how the human body works. So that's one thing I wanted to emphasize on, because
You were giving a
the
great
general public
example
has a
earlier.
big misunderstanding with that. They think that okay, an eye doctor told me to watch my sodium intake because I have high blood pressure. He's just an eye doctor. He's not a real doctor. Yes, he is a real doctor, or she, right? Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you were talking
So
about before, Nelson, that was interesting. When a police officer pulls you over, and what's the first thing that they do? They check
yeah,
to see
yeah,
how your eyes are, right? What were
yeah.
you saying about that? That was pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
So why do you think police officers are trained so when they pull you over, the first thing they do, they check your eyes.
So the eyes
Depending on
don't
how
lie.
far your pupils dilated, they can tell if you're on an upper drug, downer drug, or if you're normal or you're sober. That's why if you ever notice they pull you over at night, they check your eyes with a flashlight. During the day, they just look straight in your eye because they can tell by the way that your pupils are dilated if you're under the influence of any substances. Very important. Yeah. So there's a lot that meets the eye, right?
Absolutely.
So we're gonna continue with the other day and his final thought.
You're, so first and foremost, let me thank and thank you for having us at your lovely facility. And teaching us everything that you've learned over the past years on lens and crafting. Final thought: take care of your eye health. Make sure y'all seeing, and if y'all need lenses, tell them to go to Outstanding Optical. You heard me. That's all I got today.
Yes. So yeah, my final thought is your vision is very important and you should take it very serious.
The eyes are the window to your
There
soul.
you go. Your eyes are the windows to your soul. So it's very important to take care of your eyes. And if you don't want to pay a retail price for certain things, come see Anne. And one thing that she does is lenses.
See,
There you go. Then at the Round Table Podcast,
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
our
Thank you,
guest Anne
Anne.
Fiorini, Outstanding Optics. Thank you for being our guest today, and hopefully we gave some real good information out to people today.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, and we'll see you around. Then at the
Night.
Roundtable Podcast, we're going to end it off with some beautiful violin music here, just to kind of emphasize on the lens making.
Yes, and change it up a bit, Us
Yeah,
Latinos, we could be sophisticated too.
yes, for sure,
Then
guys.
winter from
All
the four.
right. So the other day you got that you got the music rolling.
Yeah, I got that winter from the Four Seasons right here, Papo.